Okay, hi guys. In this episode, we actually have Ron DeSantis signing a bill to restrict media access to users, particularly above 16. If you're under 16, you cannot use social media anymore after this Ron DeSantis bill, which is actually a really good thing because children should not even be on social media to begin with. Next, we're going to be talking about a protest that was across the street from my work that was actually really, really annoying. It made no sense whatsoever. I'm going to be explaining that. I'm going to also explain Joe Biden's and Pete Buttigieg's response to the bridge in Maryland collapsing. Pete Buttigieg's response is just stupid. I have an update on the bridge. I have Corinne John Pierre getting asked a hard question, and then she hangs up the phone on the journalist for some reason. P. Diddy gets his house raided from the FBI and then flees the country. Ronna McDaniel actually gets a job on MSNBC, or NBC, I should say, and then gets fired 2 days later for just being herself. It doesn't make any sense here. And New York City asks court to allow illegal immigrants to vote in our elections. All of that and more on today's episode. So, starting with the Ron DeSantis age bill, which, to just break it down, I don't even think it's called the Ron DeSantis age bill, but the ban actually would restrict children from under 14 from using social media platforms and requires 14 through 15-year-olds to get parental consent. A measure supporters say will protect them from online risks to their mental health. The measure requires social media platforms to terminate their accounts of people under 14, and those of the people that are under 16 do not have parental consent. It requires them to use a third-party verification system to screen out those who are underage, which is actually really good. So it's not just like you put in a different age at, like, let's just say that you're 15, you need your parental consent. You can just put in a year prior to when you were born. That's how it used to work on social media. Like when I first started social media, it was like you have to be at least 13 to have this account on Twitter or something like that. I would just put in a different age than what I was at the time. Now, obviously, today's my birthday, so I just turned 20 years old. So now, of course, I'm the age of having a social media account. Not now, but long ago. But the thing is, the bill would have restricted me from actually doing that very thing. It wouldn't have allowed me to just change the date in my birthday because I would have needed to verify my identity. I would have needed to verify with an actual document when my birthday is. The state's Republican-led legislature passed a bill in February that would have banned children under 16 from social media entirely. DeSantis, a Republican, vetoed that bill earlier this month, saying that it eliminated parental rights. The amended version allows the parents to provide consent for older children to engage on social media platforms. It will become law on January 1st, 2025. Social media harms children in a variety of ways, DeSantis said in a statement. He said the legislation gives parents a greater ability to protect their children. Supporters have said the legislature will stem from harmful effects of social media on the well-being of children who use such platforms extensively and may experience anxiety, depression, and other mental illnesses as a result. This is particularly a target on TikTok because of the fact that obviously TikTok is one of the greatest dangers to our mental health as a Gen Z person, because of the fact that mental health just runs rampant on TikTok. It's disgusting. Okay, so now when it relates to Facebook or Meta, the parent company for Instagram and Meta opposed the legislation, saying that it would limit parental discretion and raise privacy data concerns because of personal information users would have to provide to get age verified. Okay, so that does not make any sense. So because of the fact that you're going through a third party that has all of their ducks in a row, all of their privacy, like they need to follow a protocol for privacy, those third parties that the apps are going to work with. So because of the fact that you're going to verify your identity with the third party, which is privacy centered, hopefully at least, because of that, they are using that as an excuse here. But that's never been the issue when it comes to gambling. Gambling online, you need to verify your identity. When's the last time that there was a data leak for verifying your identity to gamble online? Nobody ever has a problem with that whatsoever. You verify your identity to gamble online. You verify your identity to um to buy a plethora of items. Like if you were to go into a store, you scan your ID. Why is there no issue there? When you go and scan your ID, you give your ID over to the cashier, and then they scan your ID to buy liquor or to buy tobacco products. It's common sense. We've been using this version of verifying your identity for years and years and years and years and years. They're just scared, social media companies, that since they don't have the younger generation on social media, because at 15 and 16 years old, parents are going to start looking at social media and saying, I don't know if I really want my kid on TikTok, Instagram. I don't know if I really want that. So they're going to start double guessing and double checking and saying, no, I don't think so. Nope, I'm not going to do it. So, but the thing is, these social media platforms can easily make an app that just goes with the rules and regulations. So DeSantis did say in this legislation that any app that actually auto plays, then auto plays and it has a unlimited amount of infinite scrolling. So the bill does not name any specific social media platforms, but it does target social media sites that promote, quote, infinite scrolling. Display reaction metrics such as likes, features autoplay videos, and has live streaming and push notifications. It will exempt websites and apps whose main function is email messaging or texting between a particular service, a sender and recipient. So WhatsApp is free. They don't need to worry. But apps like TikTok, apps like Instagram, apps like Facebook all have to worry because of the fact that those are their infinite scrolling is the big key. But they can make a kids version of the app without infinite scrolling and autoplay, and they don't have to verify anyone's identity. So there's an easy way around this, but are social media companies going to produce an app that's particularly for kids just for the state of Florida? Well, I guess in March 2023, Utah became the first state, but now it's Arkansas, Louisiana, Ohio, Texas, and now Florida. So now there's going to be many, many states, and hopefully every single state follows suit, because if it's not every state, then you just become a VPN user, and then you can change the state in which your VPN is coming out of, and the social media sites have nothing to say about that because they don't even know where you're coming from. It's the story that everybody's been waiting for, or at least I've been waiting for to tell everybody. It's the protest that happened a week, not a week, a street away from my work. Literally across the street from where I work, there was a protest. It was really annoying, and it was out of nowhere. So I'm a delivery guy. I come in and out of my shop all day long, and I came out with a bunch of deliveries. It was like 4 or 5 deliveries, and I was like, okay, well, this is crazy. All of them are obviously in the same areas, like 1 minute away from each other. So I'm like, boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna knock them out. So all I was thinking about is like, oh, how do I arrange this? Which is the first one that I should go to? Blah 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 blah. Okay. So now all of a sudden I hear this person with a megaphone just screaming into the microphone. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I look to my right. I kid you not, in front of a huge like building, not like a skyscraper. I would say just like a high-rise type building, but it's like all condos. I just see these people with a sign, and it's the Israeli flag, and I'm like, the Israeli flag, huh? And then all of a sudden it says ceasefire. That's what it says on the flag. And then I just see these 2 people holding it, and then I see this doofus with the megaphone just screaming into the megaphone, and then the other guy or girl, I couldn't really see all that well, just holding the Israeli flag. So then they just start saying start saying genocidal slogans like "from the river to the sea, Palestine must be free," stuff like that. I'm like, okay, this is just stupid. This is just disgusting. I just don't get why here. I work in a small little town inside of a smaller little state. It does not make much sense here. New England is not the place to be protesting. Like, what does that have to do with the Middle East? And that's what I was saying. And customers were so weird about it, too. It was like, why are they even doing this? I have the same question, my guy. I don't know why they're doing this here. In a small city, in a small state, inside of the New England sphere. It doesn't make much sense here. So I'm just wondering, like, what the heck are they doing? Like, why are they bothering our customers? That's going through my head. So I go on the deliveries. I'm like, okay. So I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, what are they doing? So then, obviously, I made the I put two and two together. I was like, okay, obviously, I know why they're doing it. I know what they're saying. It was really getting me mad because I'm like, why here? Go to the White House. Like, go to the White House, make your voice heard. But they know that they won't get any traction, they won't get any engagement if they go to the White House. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe they should just go to the White House. So I was like, okay, well, if I get something going in that direction, maybe I will just shout out of the window, like, go to the White House, like, get out of here, you're stupid. Something like that. I'm like, why protest here? It does not make much sense. So that's what I was saying to pretty much every customer that would ask me about it, because obviously I'm coming in and out. They're like, what the heck's going on? I'm like, I don't know. I just find it stupid. Protest about the Middle East at the White House, not here. So that's what I would just kept saying to people. Obviously, you have your First Amendment right, but it's a little annoying when it's here, when it's in a small city in a street that it's not even that busy. It's across the street from a market. What are you doing exactly? So obviously he was there for like an hour or so. So then when I came back from my deliveries, I'm like, you know what can I do that was actually like, what can I do that actually annoys them but doesn't put me in jeopardy, doesn't put them in jeopardy, but still allows them to talk, obviously, because whatever, talk. So when I came back from the deliveries, there was two police officers there, and I started dying and laughing. I was like, there's two police officers there. You're disturbing the peace. Maybe they're going to kick them away. Nope, the police officers actually helped them and made sure that nobody that was, sane actually went up to him and knocked some sense into him. So that would be pretty funny to see somebody get knocked sense into them. But also at the same time, it's like, I wouldn't really go that far. I don't really recommend going that far. So I'm like, okay, well, the cops are there just to preserve the peace, whatever. So I go on my last couple of deliveries, and then it's almost the time that we stop delivering. So I'm like, okay, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to just play this random song on blast, and I'll put my windows down. Because like I said, my work is literally right across the street from where they were protesting, and the street is really small. I would say about 30 feet away is where they were protesting. If I was to go to the end of my work parking lot, is literally right there, and it's above them, so it would echo down. So I'm like, okay, well, this is the perfect thing that I can do that doesn't really, it's not against the law to play music loudly because it's, the middle of the day because parties go on. It's not against the law to have my car on because I have a Toyota Prius. It's a hybrid. What are you going to tell me? That it's polluting the earth? No, that's stupid. So then I just leave my car on. I put my windows down. I blast the music, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna put my playlist on because it's like iffy. The music's not going to really do anything. So I put the today's hits on, and it ended up being Bob Marley. And I was like, okay, Bob Marley's not that bad, but Bob Marley's good. I like Bob Marley, so I put some Bob Marley on blast. It was wicked loud, and obviously they heard it. So then I think they went on. Well, I went to inside of my work, and then my parents are like, "Oh no, it's okay. Just turn your car off. It's not even worth it." I'm like, "No, you know what? They're annoying me." So I didn't want to hear their slogans anymore because their slogans were just annoying me. From the river to the sea, Palestine must be free tells you that all you need to know about what they think. They don't want to come to a two-state solution, what they're claiming. They don't want to come to a two-state solution because where's Israel going to go? If the river to the sea, you allow Palestine to be free. What's between the river, the Black Sea, and in the Mediterranean River? What's in between those two? Israel. So now when you sit here and say, "Oh, well, Palestine must be free between those two things," that's Israel. So where's Israel going to go? Where are the people of Israel going to go? Where's Israelis going to go? Jewish people going to go? It doesn't make any sense here. So I'm like, whatever. So I let it play for not even the song, like the whole entire song of Bob Marley played. And then I look out the window and they left. They left because of Bob Marley. So if I was to learn one thing through this whole entire experience, I would say, Bob Marley, thank you. with that being said, we do have Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg's response to the bridge in Maryland collapsing. So this is what Joe Biden actually said here. He had a press conference. He was actually 10 minutes late to the press conference, and then he had a couple of statements here. He looks very, very confused in all of these pictures. So this was actually yesterday. Earlier today, I sat down with Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg and Vice Admiral Garter to discuss the coordinated response to the collapse of Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge. We'll be with the people of Baltimore for as long as it takes. Yes, but how about the people of East Palestine, Ohio, which you still haven't went there? Doesn't make much sense here. So, this is just a picture of him, Joe Biden, being confused, looking at Pete Buttigieg all confused. Oh, what's going on now? What bridge? Where? And then Pete Buttigieg is like, Grandpa, it's right there. So it's just a doofus talking to a doofus. Obviously, their whole entire presidency, Joe Biden's presidency, is a dumpster fire. Now, Pete Buttigieg goes to the scene, and you can see Pete Buttigieg standing there like, oh, hi, yeah, what is this? I like trains. So he's not really saying much else. It doesn't help. Any administration official that goes to the scene that's not the president, it does not help. The only reason why the president would go to the scene of an event like this would be because of the fact that, it would be all for show. It's not going to be because of the fact that you're actually going to help. It's going to be all for show. So the fact that an administration official on the higher scale is actually going there, they're not helping. They're really not helping whatsoever. So, yeah, it's just annoying to see. Pete Buttigieg has just been a failure of a transportation secretary. You can just see his name. Look at his name, Secretary Pete Buttigieg. If you know Secretary Pete Buttigieg and who I'm talking about, that's how you know he's doing a bad job. If you don't know the secretary's name, then they're doing a good job, because that means that you don't hear about them. So it's very simple here. With that being said, we do have a little update on the Maryland bridge. 6 people have been presumed dead after a cargo ship crashes and levels Baltimore Bridge. 6 construction workers who have been filling potholes on the Scott Bridge in Baltimore when a container ship rammed into its supports are presumed dead. Jeffrey Peckinzer, executive vice president of Bonzer's Builders, told NBC News that the 6 individuals who were not aimed are presumed to be dead from the incident. The crew are working in the middle of the bridge when the ship shrunk. The ship shrunk. I can't talk today. The crew was working in the middle of the bridge when the ship struck the bridge, causing the bridge to collapse. The bodies of the 6 workers have been not recovered because it's in the bridge. This was completely unforeseen, obviously. All the excuses in the world. Obviously, we already went through the video a couple days ago, and Ron DeSantis actually tweeted and said, "I have directed FLSRT, Florida Division of Emergency Management, to offer assistance to the state of Maryland if needed following the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The state of Florida stands willing to help, and our prayers are with the victims and the first responders." So a lot of people are saying that this is actually a dub. This is actually a win because of the fact that states helping other states is exactly how it's supposed to be. Not Joe Biden, the federal government, going in and saying, I'm going to do something, guys. Just wait for it. No, obviously no. It's your responsibility as a state to be here for the United States of America, even though you might not agree with Maryland's politics. That's what I can appreciate about Ron DeSantis. Okay, moving into the next article, we actually have Karine Jean-Pierre hanging up on the phone during an interview after the interviewer asks fair questions about Biden. So The White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre became agitated during an interview on Monday and hung up the phone after she was asked a couple of fair questions about President Joe Biden. KGP lost her cool during an interview with Charlotte's WBT news director Merrick Garland's Mark Garson during a live radio interview after Garson asked her about Biden's mental fitness for office and high cost of everyday products. When I told a number of people that I was talking to today, it was interesting though. They all said, "Would you please just ask her, does the president have dementia?" So before I move from that, does he? So basically, the interviewer asked Karine Jean-Pierre, does the does the president have dementia? And then Karine Jean-Pierre says, "That Mark, I can't even believe you're asking me that question right now. This is an incredibly offensive question to ask." She fired back. Garson responded, "But, the people asked it." And then and then Karine Jean-Pierre said, "Wait, no. You, Mark, you're taking us down this rabbit hole. Let me be clear about this," KGB responded. "For the past several years, the president's physician has laid out very incomprehensive way the president's health. She said, this is a president. If you watch him every day, if you pay attention to his record and what he has done, you'll see exactly how focused he's been with the American people, how historic his actions have been." And so, okay, so she just said, I don't have where's my transcript of what I'm supposed to say? My notes. Oh, I found my notes. Okay. Mark. And then this is that's the notes. Garson that mentioned the high cost of groceries and gas and asked how Biden wins votes when people are struggling to make ends meet. Karine Jean-Pierre said, "Look, the president understands. He grew up in the middle-class family, working-class family in Scranton, Pennsylvania. He gets it," she claimed. He understands how difficult the Americans who are sitting around their kitchen table every month, blah, 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 blah. Now you're asking me about gas prices," she continued. "The president took actions on gas prices. Let's not forget about Russia's invasion on Ukraine." Karine Jean-Pierre abruptly hung up the phone. And the phone line went on dial tone. Yeah, so you ask her two hard questions, and she hangs up the phone. This would be actually really funny to see. So here we're gonna see it.
When I told a number of people that I was talking to you today, it was interesting, though. They all said, "Would you please just ask her, does the president have dementia?" And so before I move on from that, does he?
Mark, I can't even believe you're asking me this question. That is an incredibly offensive question to ask.
But people ask it.
Wait, no. Mark, you're taking us down this rabbit hole. Let me be very clear about this. For the past several years, the president's physician has laid out in a comprehensive way the president's health. This is a president, if you watch him every day, if you really pay attention to his record and what he has done, you will see exactly how focused he's been on the American people, how historic his actions has been. And so I'm not even going to truly really, take the premise of your question. I think it is incredibly insulting, and so we can move on to the next question.
Gas prices and grocery prices, then, big topics here in North Carolina. How does Mr. Biden win votes when people don't have as much disposable income?
Look, the president understands. He grew up in a middle-class family, working-class family in Scranton, Pennsylvania. He gets it. He understands how difficult it is for Americans who are sitting around their kitchen table every month trying to figure out what they're going to pay for. You have to remember when the president walked into this administration, there were multiple crises happening. There was COVID. There was the economy was in the tailspin because of the last administration, because of what the President Trump left us with. Now you're asking me about gas prices. The president took action on gas prices. Let's not forget Russia.
Okay, so that's so funny that she's like, "Oh, ask me another question." What? Now you're asking me about this question? What? You just asked him to ask you another question.
Invasion on Ukraine skyrocketed prices of gas, and because the president took action, we see we are in a different place than we were a year ago on gas prices.
No.
Eggs, milk,
A year
seafood
ago, yeah, a year ago, but of course, a year ago is nothing to compare to 4 years ago when we were paying $2.20. Nothing.
all the important groceries, those costs have gone down because of what this president has been able to do. And with that, thank you so much, Mark. Have an amazing, amazing day.
Wow. Wow. She hung up. Wow.
Ask her two hard questions.
Mark.
You ask her 2 hard questions and she hangs up the phone. That's hilarious. Oh, this is an underreported report for sure. With that being said, we're going to sum up this episode right here. We do have a few more things to get to. I don't want to sit here and say, oh, well, we're going to cover this, this, and this, if we're not going to cover it, but we will cover it tomorrow. We do have a whole entire full episode that is going to come out tomorrow because we have about 20 things to get to because a lot of things happened this week. With that being said, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening, and I hope they have a great rest of your day.